Welcome back to Blossom, where we share how you can succeed in personal life and in relationships. Today, we're looking into the other side of the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship. Our guest, Sumbo, shares her personal experiences, the joys, the challenges, and the lesson learned in building a relationship with her mother-in-law. Sumbo, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me here today. And thanks for this opportunity to talk about this series. I'm excited.
Oh, wow. Let's start from the beginning. What was it like when you first met your mother-in-law?
Well, I think it was just about having to see her for the first time, and she wasn't having any expectation of me, and I wasn't having so much expectation of her. I just wanted to see who is the mother of this man that I'm going out with. So, and luckily, the moment I stepped in, she gave me a warm welcome, and she seems excited, and I was also excited. And she wasn't having anything like, oh, you guys can just go sit down and have fun. So we just sat down in our home living room, and I was just there. So, and what puzzled me about that was because she just wanted to give us everything she had without her expecting me to move around and ask her, oh, should I come help you out? Should I come do anything? She was just happy that someone was around. Yeah, so that was exciting for me.
So you didn't feel like you needed to make a great impression on her, show her what a good lady you are and what a fantastic daughter-in-law you'd make?
Well, because I know that when it comes to relationship that I was thinking of maybe I would go to the next level with, it was just about me.
Okay, very real.
Yes, and in the long run it would always be about me.
Sure.
Because if I try to please her on the first day, then that means I was ready to please her all my life, which I know that no relationship works that way. It's going to be fake from the beginning, then in the end it's going to turn sour. So I was just literally myself. So one of the things that was so funny is because, coming from an African home with the Yoruba culture and all that, and they expect, oh, you're going to your mother-in-law's place for the first time, sit down in the kitchen, help out with things. I didn't help out with anything. I didn't do any dishes. I just sat down. The only thing that I did was when she made the meal we had, I took it down to the kitchen. And she was still happy and excited about it. And the thing is, I realized later is she likes her space, which made more sense because I wasn't trying to go into her space and I wasn't trying to do anything. So that didn't make her uncomfortable and that didn't make me uncomfortable. That's one thing I learned.
Oh, that was so good. How would you say your relationship with her has evolved since then?
Well, I would say my relationship with her has been more of a daughter to mother, because one of the things she told me was, well, I have just one daughter and I'm looking for more daughter. I'm not looking for a daughter-in-law. I just want more girls, and I'm happy to always have you, every one of you at any point, in which I was going to be the first daughter-in-law. So with her saying that, I knew that okay, I could be silly, I could be naughty, because she gave me a free hand. Because to my mom I could be silly, to my mom I could be naughty, and I could be whoever I want to be. I could get angry. So that actually gave me okay, this is what I want. The time I got pregnant, when I got married, and I fell sick, and my husband was a little bit nervous, he couldn't do much. But luckily, she came, she was in the clinic with me, she had my baths, she did everything that my mom would have done. So, and that time, it made me understood the fact that what she said was real. And from that time, we were able, although we've always done a lot of things together, because I think we kind of share some common things in terms of ideologies, in terms of lifestyle. So that even made it more easy, because at every point in time she was just the way my mom would do, oh, are you doing this? Oh, and she came all supportive at every point in time.
Yes. What would you say is one of your most memorable experiences?
Well, I would say the time where she didn't know what we were planning. At that time I wanted to relocate, and she didn't understand what we were doing. But I realized that at every point in time we just walk in and say, oh, we have a decision to make. The only thing that comes to our mind is, oh, it's fine, the Lord will see you through. And even when she doesn't understand the concepts, she doesn't understand the dynamics, the only thing for her is, don't worry, things are going to get better. And that really made me respect her a lot and actually understand why I think all our children are progressive, in the sense that she doesn't need to know what it is. Our own is just, I stand in the prayer for you guys, that whatever step you want to take, it's just going to be fine. Yeah.
That's hugely supportive.
Yes.
Sounds wonderful, amazing. But I want to imagine that everything is not always perfect between the two of you. How have you handled differences of opinions? Or have there been any difference of opinion at all?
Well, I would say yes, because for my mother-in-law, she kind of like carry all her children along, like she kind of always directs and all that. And for someone like me, at times I don't like to be directed, because one of like
she takes the lead.
Yeah, she takes the lead in terms of trying to like direct. Once you say something, she wants to plan it for you and start giving ideas and all that, which that does not go well with me at times, since I'm also a planner.
That sounds very interesting, because one, you like the way she plans, and now, so that I get the point, you are also a planner.
So one of the things is, I think I've been able to like tell her straight in the eye that I'm sorry. I really want to take the lead in this, because one of the time was my husband was coming over to visit. She was around, and she was like, "Oh, let me quickly cook for him. This." So I was like, "Oh, mom, no, you're not cooking. He's my husband.
I'm cooking for my husband."
And he specifically told me that no, don't let my mom cook for me. You must cook for me, because I haven't eaten your food in a long while. So she just looked at me and said, that's your problem, come and cook it. And I've realized that most times I've looked her in the eyes and tell her, I'm sorry, no, it doesn't go with me that way. This is how I want to handle it.
And she doesn't feel...
Well,
sometimes she doesn't feel being rude.
That's the thing.
Okay. No.
She doesn't feel bad about it.
Oh, wow.
Because there was a time that she called me for something and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to have this discussion. And she was like, okay, that I just feel this. I said, no, I don't want to have this discussion with you.
From a Yoruba girl to her Yoruba mother-in-law.
And she said, okay, maybe when you come to your senses, you think better.
Wow, that's a mother-in-law.
Then, and Mother's Day was coming like 2 weeks after. And you know, when I had to like send her a Mother's Day message, one of the things I told her is, you have shown me in all things that you are not a mother-in-law. I've expressed myself the way I feel. I've shut you down the way I would shut my mom down. I've done a lot of things, but you still come with your motherly love and just show me that you are a daughter and not a mother-in-law. So happy Mother's Day. So it's just me going back to tell her that I didn't take you as a mother-in-law. I get angry with my dad, I get angry with my mom. So at that point, I gave her more respect and I gave her more love, because everything I do to my mom, I do to her, and she has never taken it personal before. Yeah.
Great. This is really lovely to hear, lovely to know. Has your husband been involved in any way in helping with this relationship?
Well, he tries his best, Although men would always be men, they want to be quiet and all that. Like, I think at a point in time, like, because she's overprotective of some things, and I felt like this is too much. Like, what? So when I chipped it in, I was like, don't look for trouble. When I chipped it in, like, why's your mom very overprotective on everything? I was like, don't look for trouble, just leave her zone. You to stay in your own zone and all that. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I just closed my eyes to it, that when me too I'm comfortable with this, I'll do it this way and all that. And but he has never resolved anything before. Because I think we've never got into that zone. The only thing we might just do is just give ourselves silence, in which by the time we do the silence, someone understands the silence and we just go back to where it was. And also because by my first week of marriage, I had a retreat with one of my associations in which we had elderly people more there. And one of the lessons there was, one of the women came and said, the moment that children get married, she gives them a homely support fully for almost 5 years before she lets them go. In the sense that she tries to make them understand, sorry, I'm not intruding, sorry, I'm not overbearing, I'm just trying to help you understand that marriage can be stressful and it's a new thing. So I come and give you all marital support in terms of children, housework, and all that. So there were different narratives there about home. So when my mother-in-law came in full force.
So sorry, this woman says she gives them support for 5 years.
Yes. For each of our children, in which I know one of our children, you understand, and all of them are professionals. So that got me intrigued that, oh, this is nice. And when my mother-in-law started giving such support, I wasn't feeling like, oh, she was trying to take my space. I understood that, oh, she was trying to like help us out, because even when I needed to study, she would take the baby and take care of the baby and do everything. At the point I wasn't cooking in the house, she was she was
cooking for you. But if it was your husband that came around, you want to do the cooking.
No, at that point in time, I wasn't eager to even cook for my husband. I was like, okay,
I'm in the house at that time.
Oh. So that time I wasn't even eager to cook. I wasn't even eager to do anything because I was reading.
Great to hear. I would say it appears you have been a pampered daughter-in-law, pampered daughter. Have there been any cultural or generational differences that you've had to deal with in relating with your mother-in-law?
Well, I would say yes, they are. Because in terms of child care, I remember that there was a time that my daughter was like, she was still very small. She was not even up to 1 year old. Then that night, I actually read from one of the help that they actually know what they want at that age, at that month. And I was like, So the next morning, and we wanted to dress her. My mother-in-law had bathed her, done everything. She was saying no. My mother-in-law was like, what nonsense? But let her wear clothes. I don't say, well, overnight I read this part. And this is what she now said, today.
How can this little child know what she wants?
So I now said, let's give it a try. And lo and behold, we kept everything, and she went to pick the exact thing she wanted to wear and gave it to her grandma. And my mother-in-law was like, wow. In our own days, we would have beaten them.
Who are you?
So, and I think with that one, it helped out in facing out some of the ideologies that she had. Because most times when I was bringing the ideologies to her, I was sending her materials or showing her in real time. Mommy, ekakini. Mommy, ekakini. So the ones that I couldn't really do.
Say that in English.
Oh, sorry. I would say, oh, mommy, read this thing. You see, these are research. It's not just from anyone, and it has worked. And over time, also, she looks at it and say, oh, I think it's not like this. And those things that I really did not know how to do, I will just leave it. So she knows that this one was not my comfort point, like bathing the baby. That one, she knew that this girl is lazy with bathing this baby. So and she was just like, okay, leave it. So I think he was able to identify my weakness and my strengths. Okay. So I think with the two of us, we understand when it's like a peak and when it's not like a peak. Everybody withdraws and respects the person's personality.
Wow. What would you say you admire most about your mother-in-law? You said a lot of good things about her, so can you single out something that you admire the most?
I think I believe and strengths.
Her?
Yeah, I believe and strengths. In the sense that she believes all of us, like all our children, all our daughter-in-law are going to be great. And at every point in time, I think she's just there that I want to work with you people to make sure that life is very easy for you. Yeah. And I realized that our only wish in life is just everyone's prosperity. Everyone getting the best. And her gentleness kind of like makes me like, and her silence, but in everything, she believes in time and season. Also, like things are going to get better. We'll take baby steps and things are going to get better. So that kind of like make me think of how will I get to this place at a point in time? Because that's different from me, in the sense that me, I'm always calculative and like, oh, this. Oh, it's going to go like this, it's not going to go like this. But she's very positive.
If you could change anything about your relationship with her, what would it be?
Well, I would say she's more of the conservative side of keep everything secrets. For me, I was brought up with say it as it is.
Okay.
While for her, you tend not to talk about it at times.
So you would say you're a more open person, you share more freely, but your mother-in-law will be more careful about things she shares with people.
Yes, I would say that. And it's so funny because you actually taught me more of that, like over 10 years ago. Yeah.
Tell me.
Because one of the things is you told me, you said this life is easy, and when I stayed with you at a point in time, you made everything open, and from there I started cultivating the habit of this life is not that hard. You have to be able to like express yourself, make it as it is. Because remember when we used to have devotion in the morning, and you say, tell me what happened yesterday. Everybody had to talk about their stories and all that. And I realized that I built
my own.
Yes. And I built that culture over time to see that the more you talk to people, the more you learn. And the more you understand that you are not the only one in this situation. And it helps a lot in a lot of things.
That's nice to hear. Let me ask this one. When you were thinking of serious relationships leading to marriage, what did you imagine of a mother-in-law?
Well, that's a very funny one, in the sense that I think I just didn't want anybody that would stress me. So, and because I wasn't having any expectation in the real sense, but one of the things I didn't want is someone that would just stress me, give me so much work. And it's going back to one of the things you taught me. Said the bone of your bone and the flesh of your flesh is the only thing that you should act for. So, and at a point in time in life, the only thing that I was interested in, let God's will be done. So I think that's why I didn't have expectation. I just knew that God was going to give me the perfect gifts of whatever that is good, that will make my life good and easy. So I think so.
beautiful. I think this is a good point for us to wind this down. And if you've heard anything, pray, like what she said, and ask God for your own spouse. And trust the Lord that He will come as a total package. And if things are not this way for you so far, maybe you reflect on some of the things she has said. I'm particularly impressed by expectations. She wasn't looking for one thing or the other in a mother-in-law. She approached the situation coming with an open mind, and look what she got. So if things are not going well between you and your daughter-in-law or you and your mother-in-law, she said it. Pray. Don't expect the person to change. She said you can't change someone, but you can change yourself. What is it you can change about your own attitude to the relationship that can make things go well? Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got your mother-in-law. Continue to be the good girl.
I will.
And thanks for being with me on this channel today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for giving me a time to reflect. And because it's not just about having this, it's about me reflecting on where we are and where it is, and it gave me a deeper insight into what I've done in the past 5 years with my mother-in-law. So I feel good about it.
I'm glad this has blessed you. Thank you for being a part of this conversation about family dynamics. If this story touched your heart or reminds you of some experience, your personal experience, and things you would want to share with us, share in the comment section below. And share with those you know would enjoy it, be helped by it. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't, so that you would know when we post new content. Keep nurturing those bonds that matter. Until next time, keep blossoming. Thank you.